Seattle drivers are like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get, but it's probably going to be bad for you. Not totally sure what caused this. It may have been a combination of speed and wet roads, but that car goes right through the front of a self-storage location. Thankfully, this was after business hours, so nobody was inside. Welcome back to another collection of Seattle crashes caught on traffic camera. Once again, I will be narrating, so if you hate the sound of my voice, I apologize. Feel free to mute the video, and a lot of the clips still have arrows telling you where to look. There's a crash at the top of your screen that was not captured on this camera. However, we're going to be paying attention to the white car in the right lane here. Now, unlike Ace of Base, she does not see the sign, maybe because she's gesturing at other drivers, but that's going to lead to a fairly spectacular crash. RIP signboard and RIP her insurance rates, because those things are not cheap. Now, the driver in the next clip missed two different signs. One of them was a no left turn sign, and the other one was a light up sign that warns you a light rail train is approaching. You can see that sign on the lower right side of your screen. So glad that we built the light rail at grade here. Wonderful plan. Now this gray SUV also has a wonderful plan. Instead of going over the Ballard Bridge, they're just going to make a U-turn directly in front of another car. Instead of saving 5 minutes, they're now going to spend hours dealing with insurance and repairs. Now we've seen a crash like this before at the same location. Speaking of deja vu, we're going to go to First and Spokane, where a pickup truck appears to run a red light. Although at this intersection it's hard to tell who has the green. The very next day, we have at the same location another very similar looking crash with a pickup truck versus a sedan. Now moving a little bit farther south down First Avenue, we have a red light runner causing a collision with an SUV. This is at First Avenue South and East Marginal. Now again, the very next evening, this car gets tired of waiting at their red light and decides to just go for it, leading to a 3-car collision. Almost a 4-car, but that last car was really paying attention. Of course, we have plenty of red light runners in this collection. Here's one on Mercer Street. Now that car that was hit smashes into a semi-truck that was loading. Luckily, the person had just stepped off the back of the truck, so they were not hit. The red light shenanigans are going to continue at 3rd and Wall Street as we have a car blow through their red light. Now again, there was no obstruction of the light here. The sun was not in their eyes. This should have been very easy to see if they were paying attention. Now we'll go to Aurora and 85th. We have a car speeding down the right lane, right through a red light. This one's a little bit distant, but it was captured on 2 different traffic cameras. This one's a little hard to see, but someone pulled out and struck that van. That van goes right into a building. That's right, that's the second vehicle into a building in one compilation. We've got 2, might as well go for 3. Keep an eye on this gray car driving down the center of your screen. For some reason, the driver seems to stop, get out. Hard to tell exactly what's going on. They're interacting with some people there. They keep going down the road for a little while, but their trip's about to come to an abrupt end. Watch the top of your screen here. Swerve right onto the sidewalk and into a building. Thankfully, they did not hit any people. This is a very pedestrian-heavy area of the city, so this could have been a lot worse. No idea what was happening here, whether it was drugs, alcohol, road rage, or all of the above. Moving back to Aurora and 85th, we have a lane change here. It's a little hard to see, but one car gets spun all the way around. Now that's not going to be the main focus because they leave their car right there, blocking the road, which leads other vehicles to pulling through a parking lot to get around, and this bus does not quite have the clearance. It has kind of a big booty, which unfortunately scrapes the truck in the next lane. Now, unlike the white car, they get out, look at their damage, and then decide to get their vehicles out of the roadway, pulling off somewhere else. Another lane change here at the top of your screen. This pickup truck may have forgotten it was on a one-way street, So it tries to turn, again, right into the path of another vehicle. This one's hard to see, but watch the road below the bridge. We get a full pit maneuver there. Very nicely done, although I don't think it was on purpose. This white pickup truck with the ladder on top is going to somehow fail to see a Sound Transit bus in the right lane. They turn right into the side of it. I'm always not understanding how people can not see a bus. Bottom of your screen here, red SUV again, tries to share space with the gigantic bus. Look out your windows, people. Use your mirrors. Open your eyes. Buses should not be this hard to see. Now, just because you can see a large vehicle does not mean the large vehicle can see you. This gray car here is about to try to squeeze in front of the dump truck to change lanes, but that dump truck cannot see them. They're way too close. And so they go for a nice little ride down the street. Thankfully, this was low speed. Did not look like there were any injuries. But a good reminder that trucks have large blind spots. This black pickup truck going down the road, we're going to keep an eye on them. They're getting a little bit impatient with this truck that they're stuck behind, so they're going to try to pass them on the right as you do. Unfortunately for them, there's a U-Haul truck parked on that right shoulder, and they slam right into it. Now this truck that caused the crash was actually a business truck. So I looked up reviews for their business online just for fun. And the most recent review was someone complaining about their driving. Can't make this up. Now for a city as non-religious as Seattle, there are an awful lot of people that seem to let Jesus take the wheel. Not sure how else you can explain what happened here, other than just completely taking your hands off the wheel and letting the car go where it wants. This car with the hazard lights, same thing. They're going to smash into a line of parked cars at fairly high speeds. You can see one red car that was shoved out of the parking spot. The causing vehicle with its hazard lights still on. Now I went out there the next day. This was another one of those parked cars, just completely smashed up. You can see it was damaged on the front and the back through no fault of their own. Bottom of your screen here, we have a van that's going to barely miss oncoming traffic and take out two parked cars instead. Bottom of your screen one more time, we have a car that's going to go off-roading despite not being designed for that kind of driving. And one last clip of Jesus taking the wheel. Watch this white car at the top of your screen. It's a little hard to see, but they're going to manage to hit a parked car at just the right angle to flip them upside down. Now for something completely different, this bright headlight is a motorcycle going the wrong way down the road downtown at a fairly high rate of speed. They approach from the right side on this camera right into an SUV. Amazingly, the rider was fine. They got up and fled on foot, leaving their motorcycle behind. Now motorcycle shenanigans are no stranger in the city. We often get groups of them doing wheelies in the summer, blocking traffic, running red lights, and generally making a nuisance of themselves. However, they're not the focus of this clip. You're going to watch the cars piling up in traffic there in the left lane. Most of the cars stop in time, but we have a 4-vehicle collision from cars that were following too closely or not quite paying enough attention. At the top of your screen, this blue truck is also going to become the victim of a rear-end collision. And a tow truck driver somehow, again, fails to see the gigantic vehicle in front of them. The same spot here, we have some cars merging. The truck in back seems to think the person in front of them had already gone, but they had not. And here's a very minor one, but you can see this black SUV does not hit the brakes at all before smashing into the car in front of them. It's always a reminder to please watch the road in front of you. Bottom of your screen here, again at Aurora and 85th. This is a hot spot for crashes in this collection. Now we're going to move a little bit farther up Aurora, where we see a Seattle driver making the classic left turn through stopped traffic maneuver, leading to a collision with other vehicles in the bus lane. And here in Soto, we have another car, again, cutting through a line of stopped cars, not able to see oncoming traffic, leading to a collision. Top of your screen, here's another one on Rainier Avenue, cutting through that line of stopped cars. That victim car got a little bit of air, probably more excitement than they wanted in their day. Another one near Rainier. Same situation, through a line of parked cars and hit by oncoming traffic. This one's on the north end, a little hard to see, but again, exact same situation, cutting through that line of stopped cars. And finally, we have a good old-fashioned fail to yield while turning left, somehow not seeing a red car coming towards them. For our last clip, we have some good old-fashioned road rage. Here's a Tesla with their park anywhere lights on. They're going to cut off a few cars before coming to a stop. Now, it's not totally clear what happens, but it looks like they back towards this SUV. I'm guessing the SUV blows their horn. Gestures may have been exchanged, but for whatever reason, that Tesla drives pretty aggressively towards the SUV. SUV decides to engage instead of driving away, and now the chase is on. They're speeding down downtown streets, and unfortunately, the SUV smashes right into an innocent driver. Now, because they're scumbags, they keep driving, leaving that poor innocent driver with a smashed up car. Continue down the road. This Tesla is going to make a hard right to get away, and the SUV, which is now fleeing the scene of their own crash, continues on. That's it for this week. As always, thank you so much for watching. Please put your phones down, open your eyes, drive safe, and I will see you next time.